Hello, hello, Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services, and another impromptu uh, live stream. But I've been busy, so I'm just had my next viewer request to do, and I says I want to do this one live because if you've been watching my post, I'm going to be breaking down the R&B chords. And when this viewer request came and I began to listen to the song, I said, this is a perfect lead in to what I want to start doing in April is taking a look at other genres of music that's being used in gospel. And this song, Your Grace and Mercy, when it was first posted, I said, oh, he wants to learn Your Grace and Mercy. Oh, that's the traditional. But then I said, oh, let me listen to this, make sure I'm doing the right one. And immediately the chords were, okay. All right, this is what I'm going to have to do live because once you find the formula, and it is using an actual formula chord wise, the song becomes easy to learn, but you have to be able to hear what is the formula that they use in this genre of music and apply it to gospel. I'm going to grift a little bit. I have my cup of juice here. This is available, of course, on the YouTube page. You can go into my shop and get your own Sound of Joy pewter. Excellent. Keeps things cold and it keeps things hot. So we're going to hear some of the music again. I'm only going to try and keep it down to 10 to 15 seconds so that I don't get a notification from YouTube of a copyright infringement. I got away with this on my last video. I was surprised I got away with it, so I kind of know now. Don't let too much of it play, just so you can hear where the chords are and their placement. So let's see. We have three so far watching us. People have to acknowledge Sub Zero and Micah who has come in. So let's get into it. Let's listen to some of it before I go to my workspace. Let's make sure I got my volume set correctly. Here we go. And I'm gonna stop it right there. So already you're not hearing that. Hey Joshua, how you doing? You're not hearing that traditional, gospel ramp up to a song. This is, I'm gonna call it straight R&B, but used in with the lyrics, the release this version of lyrics, Your Grace and Mercy. Again, I have to talk in between the songs so that the algorithm doesn't hear music spaced too so close to each other. I've already pitched out the song. We're in the key of D mainly, but it starts off in another key, the intro, which I'm not going to cover. Just want to take you through the actual meat of the song and how it's actually being chorded again around the scale. For those who have an argument that scales are not important, well, you can't have a chord without a scale. And I'll just leave it at that. Thanks for those who are watching. Let's go to the work screen. Key of D major. Well, let me get some more lights on. 1 second. Can't shoot a video without the correct lights. You need to see my finger placement. Now, I'm very big on the scales and how they sound because that's how you're going to hear, especially when you're learning music by ear and not having sheet music in front of you. That's how only way you're going to hear the notes that are actually represented in the song. Of course, got to do the left hand because that's your lowest notes are found there. Scale was done wrong. Try that again. There we go. Fingering is important. All right, so we've got our high end and we got our low end, and the chords are somewhere there in the middle. I've talked enough. Let's catch up to where these chords are now. Mm-hmm. Let me stop right there. So already I'm hearing the first notes. That's my middle. I'm hearing that chord, that note rather. I'm hearing that note. Third note. And believe it or not, if you look at the Nashville, major, minor, there we go. Major, major, minor, seventh, and back to a major. So already those chords are in the Nashville number system. Trust me, there are rules that some musicians adhere to when they're writing their songs, and the closer that they stay amongst the rules, the easier it is for you to immediately break down a song. So now we know we're in the Nashville system. Your bass line. Now, of course, the lowest note is what finishes the chord. Let me see. So let's find out if we're in the ballpark, which is always you want to be in the ballpark of the chords, because now the least amount of chords you have to learn means you can learn everything else that's in between those chords. So let's see. Okay, so that's a chord that wasn't there. Okay, so move my pedal over. So now I'm hearing. Which chord I want to pick? Because we're in the key of E major now, of D rather, I should say. I want to see what notes am I not playing that I'm hearing. So I could be here. Okay, listen back again. See what I missed. What is that chord right there? Because that's going to help me pitch the other chords. Okay, there's my turn chord. Now that chord is in the family 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, except for that change right there. That's the only note that's not in this family. But they use that to change to bring you to here. If I were to again, that's why I were to as I say, what I call dumb the chord down, take out all the other notes and just get your basics. Now I'm adding the other chords. This is that thing about, and please feel free to ask questions. I don't mind stopping. This is the thing about learning or hearing music in your head. Once you know the actual bass line of notes, the minute there's an alternate one thrown in that's not in this family, then you know that's thrown in there purposely to bring a turn to the chord. Again, hearing the lowest note and the highest note. Let's see if we can let that play a little bit. That's the chord I need. That's because that's out. That's not in the family. I gotta hear that again. Two notes change, one note stays the same. I heard the lowest note. I need to hear the highest note now from right there. Here it comes. It's a chord I use. Let me find it. It's a chord that I use. Who joined? Gotta listen to it again. This is as I say, once you know where your bass chords are, when they throw the weird stuff in, you can go back now and try to find where the weird chord change comes in at. And you're not spending a lot of time on what you already know. Let me see if I can catch this. That's the lowest note. It's just the chord now that's sitting on top of the lowest note. I'm hearing an F chord. All right. My ears are going to get their usual workout. If I can find it. There's only that many notes to find that chord change. We know where the lowest note is, so now it's within the midst of all these chromatic notes to find the chord change. Make sure I don't miss anybody. So we know that's our bottom, and this could potentially be our highest note. So we got to find the chords in between all of this. I got to listen to it. I'm talking, so of course my ears are not listening to the notes because I'm busy running my mouth. But I want to show you what I go through when I'm learning a song that is not traditional. Your traditional, that I can do with not a problem. This requires me to think, where and why are they placing that chord there? What is the purpose of it? So I've got to hear that change multiple times so that I can hear in what scale, tone did they get that chord from. I'm hearing the bottom note. It's the top note I got to be able to find. What is it resolved to? But that's not the note. Nope. Who joined? I'm running notes in my head. C sharp over a G over B major. All right, this is the B over. My ears are trying to tune to the change in that chord. How many notes? How can I put this? As I think notes in my head, I think about the 7 notes, and then the octave being the 8th note. So out of that 7 notes for that change, where did they get what's where did they go to the scale did they go to for that change note? So if I'm here, which is in my 7 notes, yeah, let me see. There we go. So now if they go to the key of B major, now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that fits the B major scale because I hear the lowest note. So let's see if my ears are correct. Must have missed it. There we go. My ears don't lie. So hopefully the person who has requested this song is going to watch this, if not on live now, is watching the concept and the precept in which I'm using. I have to know the scales in every key in order to hear a change of a chord from my original key. If I'm in D major, but they're going to throw in a B major chord, I have to be able to know that scale to be able to eliminate every other note except for the ones found in that scale. Finding the lowest note, the highest note, and what do they have in common? B major. From the lowest note to the highest note. So now I've got to look for a chord that's in the B major family. Just for that brief moment. Let me see. Go out of it and right into that next chord, which I think is where it's going to take us to. This is fun from a learning standpoint because, again, breaking down the elements of an R&B song, but that's used in gospel. Let's keep going. Okay, and we got that. So we have our opening. Could be here, could be here, could be there. It depends upon how you want to hear the chords. Start with the easiest ones first. All right there. Was that G minor, right? Could throw the ninth in there, right? G major, add 2 rather. Add 2 to give you that sound. Was that chord change? Let me see. Now the change. And then resolve from that. Let's hear all the changes through it. There we go. Okay, get the pattern down, and it's a pattern. Once you hear the pattern, practicing becomes that much easier. Pattern. All right. Following the pattern set by the bass player. There's your pattern. Dum, dum, dum. Trying to get, trying to lock in on, adjust my camera a little bit. Trying to lock in on what's happening. Dum, dum, dum. 2, for those who count the number system. 5. Turn on the 3. 6. 3. 2. Turn on the 2 to the 5. And go down to the 2 again on the bass, but on the G flat chord. Trying to lock in. Trying to lock in on it. Dun, 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 dun. If you're watching, I'm struggling with this because this is not what I'm used to doing. Okay, so once I get the pattern, 2, 5. Now, okay, so got that pattern down for there. Then you hear where the change is going to come into place. So let's try and find the change. Where did that chord come from? Chain. Oh, right there. I think I got it. F sharp. Bum, bum, bum. Get that change. 2. 3 rather, 2, 5, 3, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got to count that in place. So it's got to be on here on the 6, 5 change, which is the 2 in the B major. 1, 2, 3, and go back to the 5/4. This is why the number system for me can become confusion, because I want to hear the chords and their placement, not a number that's going to tell me if you're on this correct number. The chord can change from a 4 or 5, but a 4 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4 over a 5 bass. I'd rather hear the notes in the context of a scale. I can grasp it. For me, never being taught the number system, I can grasp it better hearing the placement of the notes over a chord. So we at what? And that's my turn chord. That's going to turn it to the, okay, here we go. Let's let it play through. Okay, the chord holds there. All right, when that stays the same. Okay, so we come out of it. Again, patterns. That's what I'm trying to break down now. What is the pattern when the singing comes in there? 1. Alrighty. I think I got it. Had it for a second. There we go. 2, 5. Turn back to 6. And right back to the turnaround. There's your turnaround. There's your first chord, your second chord, your third chord. Change the bass to turn to the 6th chord, to the 2. Now the 2 in B major, to the 5 with a 4 bass. Boom, turn. Bum, 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 bum. Drop the bass down. The bass up. Turn. Turn chords in B major. Boom, back to the 5 and the G in the right hand. To the turn chord. Wow. So, trying to give my mind a rest and, of course, take a break in between the music being played. Any questions? We have 5 that I see that are watching. Um, Sub Zero, Micah, and Joshua. This is a breakdown. Josh, am I breaking this down for you? I think you're the one that asked for this song. Let me just verify that. Who am I breaking this down for? Okay, I can't turn to that screen. It may not be you. Somehow I'm thinking it is you. Your name is assigned. I look to be able to give, as I say, 75 to 85% of a song to those who ask for a viewer request, because I want you to learn this process that I'm doing, so that you will get to the point where you won't have to ask me how to break down a song, but you will see the process. And you see, my process is built on the number system, the Nashville number system. I'm incorporating that in this style of song, not in the gospel style of song, because we're not hearing those gospel chords in this song yet. Um, the scales, not just the one, but what scale they may potentially jump to throw that, that monkey wrench in the chord process. And now learning, before you deal with the singing part, what is the musicians doing pattern wise? And R&B songs are about patterns. You will hear the pattern, what, bum 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 bum. Let's drop down to the bum. No, A flat, A, then back to the turn, then back to the bass, boom, boom. This is the bass, boom, 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 turn, boom, boom. So it's just a matter of now assigning a chord, assign the chord, assign a 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 chord, just assigning a chord to the bass notes. And turn around. And right back to the beginning. So for those who want to, what's the word I want to use? Not throw away or trash learning the scales. That's how have been able to learn any song that my ears can hear. I need to understand musically and theory what's happening. Of course, this theory, major, minor, minor, major, minor, no, major, minor, seventh, and then a major. That theory has helped me once I got an understanding of why there is a natural number system. Now I began to hear how it's been incorporated in the creation of music. Hey, Louie, how you doing? No, you haven't missed that much. I'm still breaking down an R&B gospel song. I can only put it like that. The request, and I love the viewer request for this reason. You're giving me a reason to learn a song I never normally wouldn't have to go learn. This is one of the songs that I would never pulled out unless, of course, I'm teaching. I shouldn't say teaching, but instructing on the breakdown of the chords used in a song. And I wanted to begin to do one or two video series. This sort of jumpstarts my video series on the breakdown of R&B chords, how that music survives. Everything else changes around it, but that music, that style of music survives because they're using really basic chords. I have not shown you any 13th or ninth or augmented chords, no diminished chords yet. Yet this song grows on you the more and more that you actually listen to it. We're just hearing chords. Basic three note chords. The bass chain. Now you need to have that E in there to really get the full effect of that chord. Just that one change throws a monkey wrench in the chords. But when placed and mixed and, well, as I say, when you throw in the highest note, all the notes in between, and get that change in there, and let that just hold right there, it throws it throws your ears into a whoa, a wow. And now you're gonna go back, right back to where you were. As you can see, I'm now getting comfortable with it, because not only are my eyes seeing where the notes are going, my ears are saying, this is what you can now fill in those chords, the 3-note chords. You can now fill in. You can now fill in. Throw in some extra notes. Look at the fill in. That's the lower bass. I filled in that whole chord. And I know that what do they call this chord? It's a G minor, but the minute you add another note, its name changes. So we'll give it an F sharp, 7 flat the 9th, sharp the 5th note. Okay. It's just a beautiful sound. So now that change can make sense, why that change is put in there, to be able to take you from that's all it is. Now that I stretch it out, and that's what I do musically. I hear the root change and I expand. So now if I want to go do something, when I go here, I know it's going to resolve. When you see how close this is to the key of A flat, because I took the time to find out what notes am I hearing in that scale and what is going to resolve to right there. Now the trickery, as they say, the magic of music comes into play. I'm always open for questions, so please stop me if you have a question. Let's hear what's happening. Again, I'm talking so that the YouTube algorithm doesn't try to piece together all the music and give me a copyright notification. Let's hear what else is going on. So we're staying in that pattern. All right, so we know that's the pattern for the choir singing. Let me see. What is the choir voicing? I usually don't try to do choir voicing on a song like this because that's a whole different animal. Is that the choir voicing? Let me see if I hear that right. Where was the first part? Choir voicing. right, so that's in the traditional gospel sound. But in a R&B sound. Mm. 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 There we go. Trying to get that bass locked in there. Awfully hard to play three-part harmony and the correct chords without getting cross. So just stay when, let them sing. Stay there in that range. Let the vocals, hopefully if they've been trained properly, sing their parts. Okay, let's hear what else happens past this, because I know this is pretty much, as I say, learning the patterns in each section. So that's section one, the vocal lead starting and the choir voicing. Let's hear what else goes on. Okay, the chords are still the same. Let's hear what goes on a little further. All right, let me back up a little bit. That's a change, or pattern two. Okay, that's our change. I'll change that. All right, got to talk a little bit because that's going to be picked up by the algorithm. So, waiting for the algorithm to go past. Just filling up the chords. Nope. There should be. Have you ever heard "We Lift Our Hands in the Sanctuary" or "When the Saints Go Marching In"? Which is that the traditional one? That in the sanctuary. I learned that when it first came out. How to get that pattern in there. Oh, already I lost it. Change key. Dun, dun. I done forgot how that song goes. I have not played that song in years. You see, I was able to jump right into it, and now because I'm thinking about it, and that's what happens when I have to think about a song. Now I lose the the natural way that I would jump into it. Bum, bum. Ah, there it is. There it is. Dum, bum. There it is. Dum, bum, 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 bum. And change key. Mm. Mm. B. Change key. Wow, a long time since I played. Come in my side. Wow, I have not played that song in years. Give me a, give me an hour to work on all the correct changes, and and I can put that song back together again. Cause it's changed key. Mm-hmm. And that's a change. That's the. There's always a chord that's gonna turn the song. Anyway, that's enough of that. Yes, I have played. I played it when it originally came out and learned it like I was also on with the musicians when the album was being recorded. So I learned the scales. For those who keep trying to tell you scales are not important, they haven't learned these songs. Why is my phone ringing? Gee. 1 second. Sorry about that. Had to answer that phone call. So yes, for those who talk against learning the scales and practicing them extensively before you start playing, they haven't played that song because that's all scales. All found in the scales. All found in the scales. Sorry about that. All right, back to what we were learning. Thanks for the break. That helps to break up the algorithm of what I'm playing in the background. But for I can't remember who asked for the song. I'd have to go look it up, and I should do that. I normally copy it down, but I didn't know I was going to do a live of it. I want to be able to. Well, I can snapshot this live to that person to show him the chords which I've covered so far. But now we're into the phase 2. For the prize of the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. There's a pattern. All right. Let's see what that chord, what this pattern is. But I'm not what I used to be. Since it's clear. A little bit more ahead. For the prize of the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. A little more ahead. All right, right there. Back up a little bit. Too far ahead. Where are you at? Press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. I cannot be left. I won't be left behind. Oh, hey, 'cause every day. Okay, that's our first chord. All right, so there's our first chord for the new change. There's the walk up. Okay. Cutting it down, the chords down to their bare minimum. All three together. Just those 3 chords will fill the song up, but you always want to fill it up a little bit, make your chords fatter. And I'm using the notes in the scales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those chords in the scale: 3, the 7, and the 1 inverted. There's our top chord again. The 4, the 7, and the 1 inverted. And walk them up. Nope. There we go. There's our Nashville 7 with a 5 bass. Well, with a 4 bass and a Nashville 7 chord. That's the jazz. That is the R&B sound. Could be a jazz sound also. if you practice those chords in a lot of other songs, you automatically know that's going to resolve in the R&B family. All right, let's hear the next chord from there. And we're going to go to our turnaround. Right into our turn chord. I walk up and I'll turn chord. And what I want you to hear and see is that how close these chords are to each other. Sometimes musicians will, as I say, leave the home chords. These are the home chords. This is home. Turn chord is just here. You can add other family members to sort of fatten it up. But once you know, but if you ever get lost, I often say music wise, if you know where your bass chords, your home chords are, so if you ever go outside of your home chords and you get lost, you can always go back home. Right there in the home. Now I've just added an additional note there because it sounds a lot fuller and fatter. Kept that note there. But I know the turn is coming. I added now. It's good there. That note, that turn, that E sounds will always sound good right there. There's my turn. Walk it one more time. Walk it up. Get that right there. And then we're going to turn right there. And let's hear what's next. Back into the, could be here, or what do we call that? D major 7. Inverted. Sounds a lot fuller when you add could be here, but to fill it up. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, turn. What key are we now in? We're now in C. We're just gonna walk it up. We're in C. We're back to E. Back to C. Excuse me, back to D. We were here, right? Turn. Where do we go from there? Another turnaround. That chord I heard in there. Because I heard the soprano's highest note. So we'll walk them. Let me see. Resolve back to here. Nope, we didn't. off to the 4. Let's hear the change. Okay. Again, breaking down the notes that I'm hearing. And that will resolve me here. What we got? Okay. Ha. Hit the wrong button and I lost. All right. Take a break so that the YouTube algorithm does not put together the song on me, just to see where the chords are now. So. And that's where we are. Hi Sam, can I request Blessed Assurance by DFW on your next video? Thank you for all you do. Hey, how you doing, Adam? Blessed Assurance by DFW Mass Choir. Sure, you could do that. Let me screenshot your request, because when I shut this live down, all the comments will disappear. Okay, copy. I have a special work page that I put all the requests on. Let me just post it there. Okay. Blessed Assurance by DFW Choir. Okay, I've got you on my viewer request page. What is this? All right. So let's hear, where are we? Oh, I had to bring back the video. Let's see, we get that. I won't be left behind. Whoa. Hey, 'cause every day that I wake up, it's your way of telling me that you love me so. Love me so. I was just listening to the actual tenor voices, and I heard that they're the lowest note for the tenor. I hear that change. different inversion. If you ever learn whole tones, whole tone scale, if you ever learn, again, that is a scale, the whole tone scale. And you hear that a lot in movies. No. Whole tone, whole tone. Whole tone. There it is. If you ever learn the whole tones, you will hear a lot of music using that scale. What is it? I messed it up. Whole tone. There it is. Whole tone. Once you learn this, the actual placement of the fingering, that scale becomes easy to practice, and then you do the chords that follow the notes. Whole tone. There it is. I used to practice in my earlier days. Whole tone, whole tone, whole tone. There it is. Whole tone, whole tone. Whole tone. Check to the whole. There it is. You will find that a lot of movies use that particular scale, and they're using it here to turn from so bum bum. They could have went. They could use that chord in that part of the song. Let's go. So they're back into. This chord. Bum, bum, bum. That finishes off the chord or the scale. All right. Let's go to the next part. All right. The chord changed again. Let's see what we got here. Again, I heard the highest note and where the lowest note is. Now we're back in the. This only comes from. I'm just taking a break so the algorithm doesn't come after me and really chase me down. Only comes from playing scales in every key, not just one key that you're in, but in every key. So you can hear when they throw this, when they throw that change in. What am I hearing? The highest note and the lowest note. Now, what is that telling me? What scale is in common with these two notes? The C major scale. And also the D major scale. So the lowest note is going to tell you what chord the scale is built on. All right. Let's see how that worked in there. Okay. They're not to cry. Just break it down. All right. Again, breaking it down to its scale tones. And turn around. Of course, again, the turnaround is already part of the actual DNA of the song. You know, that's their way out. Turn around to take you back to. All right. Let's see where we go from here. Back to the beginning. All right. What's next? Skip ahead. Oh, okay. When I was down, didn't have a friend. Lord, you stepped right on in. Your grace, yes, it was. All right. Turn chord. Turn around. Dropping chromatically. Hold that note up there. Stay in the scale. That note I'm not certain of. Let's justify that note. Through sickness and in stress, your grace, and all right, change the note. I'm hearing every note in my head. Again, I don't have perfect pitch, but I have relative pitch. So it means I can pick out individual notes in what I'm listening, hum it to myself, and be relatively correct. try if I can find this note. Da da da. Bum. Bum. Not the but bum. Okay, as I said, relative pitch. Not perfect, but I'm in the ballpark, in the right row. It's just a matter of finding the right seat, and that's hearing the notes of the scale. So I can hear the, because I've done this, practiced this for years. I know it's going to turn on this chord. All right, what else we got happening here? Excuse me. I heard the piano player do that. I want to know where he put it at in his chords. Yeah, I'd have to hear it again. Let's go beyond that. Through the storm, through the test, through sickness and in stress, your grace. Okay, so the last chords of that. And then they're going to resolve. All right. Hey, welcome, E.M. Williams. Favorite song by him. Not sure what song you are referring to. Let's hear what else is happening. Oh, mercy. When I was down, didn't have a friend. Lord, you stepped right on in. Your grace, yes it was. Said it brought me. All right, so that's the third scene, or I call it the pattern. So I've covered that. They've going back into pattern 2. Let's find out what's happening. What is the last pattern they have? Grace. Oh, said it was grace. 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 I know it was your grace. So again, a pattern. Just a pattern. I threw that in there. Could be this one. What change are they using in there? Okay. So the bass is turning around. Resolve. The bass note is turning the chord. And that's your turn back into so that gets you through now into the fourth pattern. Let's go past that and see what else is left. We're almost done. And I've given more chords than I would have normally given in a 6 to 8 minute summary. All right, so the rest of its song is musicians going crazy, which I'm not going to cover. Questions? I'll leave this time open now for questions. This will give me another break in between, a break in between all this music that I've been doing on this live. Hopefully, the YouTube algorithm um, doesn't pop anything up. I'm just monitoring to see if I see anything flashing. I'm monitoring on my iPad. Usually, if I get a YouTube notification, it'll pop up in my Gmail and I'll see it flash. I don't see anything. But questions on my process. Let's turn this light out. Do you see anything to question about the process that I'm using? Using scales as my baseline for finding the chords, using the Nashville chord system as the underneath layer of where the melody lines are, and then listen to all what musically is happening, especially the choir voicing, to see how they place a complete different pattern underneath the R&B chords, which are heavily based on where the bass note falls. And for those that have the conversation, you learn a song by learning the bass note. No, the bass note is the last, or the how can I put this? It's the lowest note in the chord. And as you can see, where the bass note fits, it could change the sound of the chord. If I did this, that's my lowest note. The chord changes when I change the bass note. So, yes, the bass note is important as the lowest note in the chord, or in naming what chord that is for those who do use chord names, which I love. Tell me that you're playing a E minor. Let me see, it's the E minor, right? E minor. What's the E minor over a G over a B minor? All those notes I'm playing are, if I took them apart in their scale names, they would all be called different notes. Take the notes apart, but it's that blend of all those notes that gives you that actual sound. I think scales are nice, especially when you don't have a perfect pitch, which I'm far from it. Yeah, well, trust me, playing scales and finding what note resonates with you. Like right now, I'm not touching the keyboard, but the note C is a note that I can hum to myself, and that gives me my baseline for what I'm hearing. Like I can look at the keyboard right now and see C, let's see, and I found it on the first try. That is my baseline for being able to pitch where I hear chords. And you heard me do that live. I was hoping I wasn't going to go too far off. But yeah, that lets me know that I can go C, E, G, C. So now I can sing a chord in my head or hum it. B flat, A flat, G flat, F, G flat, G, E flat, D flat, C. I can hear it now in my head. Once relative pitch again. It's not perfect, but it's relative. So if I hear a chord in my head and I stop to hum it, knowing where my relative pitch starts. C. I can't go that high. Bum, bum. I can find chords for me relative pitch, and that is from practicing chromatic scales and every scale note, and then the minor scales, the harmonic minor scale. Ba, da, ba, 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 B, C. I can find what chords are being played from just tearing them apart and then hearing the other notes that are being added to it or that I could add to it to give it a much more fuller sound. And I don't have a disagreement with those other content creators that don't teach scales, but I'm finding that for me, not having an actual mentor to sit down and tell me, oh, this is a one, this is a five, this is a four, to have to rely on a scale system to find chords has been been my saving grace because I don't have to run and ask somebody, how do you play this chord? I can hear it, find the scale it's built on, and then just add the notes that are missing. Hopefully that will help me to hear keys better. Yeah, it's been part of my practice routine. Even when I was an instrumentalist, they taught us to practice scales, not just in one key, but in every key, just so that we can hear the notes, so that if we're reading the notes, we'll know based upon what we've heard if we're playing the right note. One thing you don't want to be from an instrumentalist is everybody's in tune and you're the one that's off. And the same thing when you're doing piano music. You don't want to be the only person in a group session of people playing and you're playing the wrong key. They say, oh, we're going to be in the five, or we're going to be in the five. And you find yourself in the six. And it don't sound right unless it was written that way. If you're in the six chord, but you're supposed to be in the five chord, then you don't want to be the one that's off because you can't hear that it's not correct. Scales will train your ears to hear the notes that you are hearing. So you'll know first, provided you have on headphones, you'll be the one to tell whether or not you're in the wrong note family or the wrong note scale of a particular chord. And it's only helpful when if you're doing melody, then you can just throw notes in. But if you're doing chords, you want to make sure you're in the right family of scales for that particular chord. Any other questions? I'm bringing this to a close. Hopefully my viewer that requested this song will watch this video all the way to the end. I give you more than 80% of the song and chords. What is your method for finding the root key of a song? The lowest note. That's always going to be the root, whatever the lowest note is. Now, for those songs that are pitched differently, it depends upon the song. Let me see. Let me try to think of a song that is. Well, let's go with the traditional Your Grace and Mercy. Um, because we're not going to do this anymore. Let's change our chordy app to D flat. The traditional Your Grace and Mercy. That's my scale. Already I know it's going to start on the third note because I've played this song for so many years. Playing the scale, I can hear that the first part of the note is going to start on the third note. Just like playing Mary Had a Little Lamb. What is the first note in Mary Had a Little Lamb? Third note. No matter what key you're in, it's going to be the third note. So if you're going to do it in A, oh, this is what B, F. I can look at it and see where it's going to go. If I were to change key, A. The minute I played the first note wrong, or immediately I heard that's not the scale. It's starting with the third note, count down 3, whole tones, and you will find what the root key of that particular song is. but you have to be able to know that scale exists. There was another song that was requested. Where was it now? Blessed Assurance by the DWF Mass Choir. Let me just hear what that sounds like. Give me a chance to type it in. I should just move the keyboard. My keyboard is wireless. I should just move it over to me. Blessed Assurance. Uh, Dallas Fort Worth Mass Choir. Here we go. I see someone else has already posted the chords for that song, for this song. Let me.
At ADP, we use.
I must have done this song before. I see I've got a. We're just waiting for the ad to pass by. Mm, 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 mm. Is that what I'm hearing? There's another note there. Yeah, listen to it. Come on, I want that note. It's not. See what it is. There's not too many notes that it couldn't be, but it's the actual mixture. There's so much music happening around it. My ears are doing this, finding the trying to eliminate all the notes around this one chord. There's a note there that I don't normally use that I wouldn't think to put there. Now that would be the natural sense, but they're throwing in a curveball chord wise, and you've got to be able to hear it. There's it right there. All right, so if that's my bass, now again, how many notes do we have that it could be? It's all here. Play the notes you do hear, and then search for the one that you're missing. A diminished chord. What chord is that? None. Mm, mm. Wow. Mm, mm. There's a clashing. There's two notes close. There's two notes together. two notes I'm hearing clashing. Mm. All right, that is much time I'm going to spend on that last note. It sounds like it's that's where they are. Do you want to be 100% like the album? Strive for 100%, but 80 isn't bad. But as I say, in the ballpark, in the correct role, maybe in the correct seat, maybe. But how close do you really need to be? I'm going to stop right there. As I say, I don't need to have YouTube coming after me. And if they do, it's okay. I'm learning that as long as you have conversation, and they do allow you to to critique other YouTube videos. Now, of course, the copyright holders of the songs have an issue, especially with me playing an entire song, and they haven't had my permission. I got through that first copyright strike on my channel. Did my 90 days in jail, you might say, with good behavior. So I'm cautious, very cautious when I'm playing other contents from YouTube. But from a teaching standpoint, the YouTube laws say I can critique another YouTube video as long as I'm adding a little bit more to my channel than just playing it and airing it for views. So for those who have been watching, you got to see me now critique two songs, two for the price of one, or two for one, you might say. You're not paying to be in here, and certainly you're willing to contribute if you want to. As I say, I do have my my products and my merchandise. As you see, I am rocking the Sound of Joy merchandise. This is not the one that you get now. I've actually made it better than this, but this is the first one. So you're certainly welcome to visit our shop and purchase YouTube Sound of Joy merchandise. I need to go in and create some more merchandise. I'm going to do that for musicians. That's part of my uh, promoting the brand of Sound of Joy for 2023. It's why you will see me delving into other genres of music to show that I'm not just all gospel, but I'm about to music. I've joined several other sites where there are other content creators who are teaching their genre of music so I can be taught too. I just joined another one today, a gentleman. I can't quite call his name out right now, but I just joined his because he is featuring the different VST softwares, and he's talking about the Keyscape, which I still am a little bit away from getting Keyscape. I have to upgrade my system to be able to hold the Keyscape file. But there's a beautiful sound of a piano felt that just came out, and just to hear him play traditional chords and make it sound like it's on a live piano, I now may have to push my, which means credit purchase, to upgrade my system to a stronger, more memory, and certainly more hard drive space so that I can go and invest in that software, because I do plan on doing some more music productions this year as I expand and learn the new Dolby Atmos mixing atmosphere that now is required by Apple Music. As you can see, I have two songs that I have written, Trust in the Lord and God Still Answers Prayer. I got to remix those. I'm going to remix those in the Adobe Atmos arena so that I can reintroduce those into the Apple Music, because they're saying that we only want the one that gives you surround sound. I don't have a 7-speaker system here, but they do allow you to create it with just headphones. And then you can, as they say, create the actual meta space. This whole new concept of creating music has now entered into the world of meta, where you can spread 128 different positions of music to make it sound like it's actually circling if you're in the actual movie experience. So that's what I am being taught now from the YouTube teachers, how to get immersed. I've got the software already. I'm working on a setup. There's just one thing that doesn't work on it, which I'm got to go to Atmos, Dolby Atmos support, and ask why can't I get this one feature to turn on. But once I get that operational, it's probably something I have in my setup, or maybe it's the fact that my system is not quote unquote the above the minimum. I'm probably at the minimum or maybe a little bit below it. So that's where I have to again invest in myself if I want to play in that space. This is not where I can walk into somebody's yard and start playing, but I got to bring my own ball and it's got to be the regulation size. So I'm just saying all of that. I am immensing myself in a lot of music uh, nomenclature and instructions so that when I want to pass it on to those who are viewing me, I want you to also be in the space of creating music, not just learning how to play someone else's song, but to create yours and then to be able to share it with the world with the current processes that are out there. Uh, they'll talk about if you got Dolby Logic or Steinberg Nuendo. And I'm a Pro Tools Studio user now. I pay for the license. Not a problem for me. That's your viewing helps me to keep that up. And now I've got to increase my system, as I say, to support all the new software that is coming out. So I do appreciate those who have been coming to my channel all of these years. Let's just turn my camera a bit. You don't need to be seeing my back hallway. I'm supposed to put up something to block that. But I do appreciate everyone who has been visiting my channel. Sam, side question. How is the diet going? Had a few rough days, but I'm back on track now. Mine, I am struggling with it as well. I have a cousin who has lost 50 pounds in 2 months, and he told me how he did it. And he didn't go to the gym to do it. He just changed his diet. I have food being presented to me. Usually when I cook it, I either air fry it or it's fresh. But when someone cooks it for me and it's good, I try to limit my portions down, but then what good is limiting your portions if you're going to taste it 3 times a day? But I have a hurdle to get over. I can't get past below 250. I came down from 264, and I've been hovering around 250, 252. And I know it's what I put in my mouth. As you can see, has water contained in it, not soda or juice. And as the weather gets better, I'm going to take my camera. Where's the camera at? I have a small camera that I used. I'm going to attach a hand pod. I'm going to be taking walks in the park while I'm actually doing. I'm going to be vlogging my process of trying to walk off 25 pounds uh, before the summertime. That's my goal. So you'll be seeing me putting together some content again, creating more content. I'll put some music behind it also as you see me doing my daily walk, and I might even show my scale as I hope to be dropping 25 pounds within the next 2 months. That is my goal. But thank you for asking. Uh, I know not to eat the bad things, but that which I do eat, I eat too much of it. Like if somebody brings me fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and collard greens, yeah, I may not eat 3 pieces of chicken, but I will eat one 3 times during the day. That's bad. If I'm cooking it, then it's going right in the air fryer, and I've eliminated all the grease, and I do all the seasoning myself. But when it's brought to me, it's hard to say no. It is. And I realize that's on me. But thank you for asking. You sort of keep me talking about it. And I think the more you talk about it with someone else who's also looking to better their health, how am I able to do all this that I'm doing musically is because I have a discipline when it comes to music. I just have to have a discipline when it comes to what I put in my mouth. Now I got to now transfer over that music discipline into what am I going to eat. It's more than just saying no. It's to say no way. And that's what I want to get to, where I say no way. Oh, we got Popeye's chicken, and there's 10 pieces in it. Have as many as you want. I got to be able to say, nah, no, thank you. Sorry, you spent your money. Here's a donation for what you would have gotten for me, but I'm going in there and get that salad with a dash of dressing, not a whole tablespoonful. But again, thank you for asking. Those who have been visiting, let me just call you out. Micah, Sub Zero, Joshua, Lewis, Adam, E. M. Williams. Who else joined us? Okay, I'm not sure who else is still here. There are four still in the room. That maybe you guys and gals that are there. If I missed anyone, please forgive me. Those will be watching the restream or the replay rather. Hope you enjoyed the process. Um, you can see what it is I go through when I'm doing a viewer request for a song that is not traditional gospel. The minute you get out of traditional gospel, then I got to stop everything that I'm doing, as I say, put on the headphones and try to find enough of the chords so that when you go back to the video in your own time, I've given you a place to start, not just the key, but what this chord is and why they put this chord in that place of the song. So for, let's see who asked for this song. For Adam. Sorry, I think I missed your name reading down my list. Since you asked for Blessed Assurance by DF Mass Choir for my next video, you got it in this one. So you'll have to screen ahead. I think I haven't learned yet how to do time stamping. I'm gonna have to learn that process. But it'll be, I'm trying to see how long am I into this. I'm 2 hours into this video, so it's got to be somewhere at the hour and 20-minute mark where I started going over the chords for that song. But I've given you enough to get you into the song, and then you can play with the video just as you saw me doing, and then fit those chords for when you begin to learn it for the particular choir that you're with. And this type of song does need, well, a praise team could do this song also, but I've given the blueprint for the chords that are being used. Once you learn the patterns that they apply to, you should have no problem getting through the song. But if there is a problem, of course, you can always leave a comment, and I will see your comment. Um, if there are no questions, thank you all again for spending some time with me. I don't have a set um, schedule yet for when I'm gonna go live. It'll come at a moment's whim. As I say, I'm also watching other lives, getting content, getting ideas from how they create their content, and also learning something. Especially now that I want to get back into producing music in a new era of this Atmos, Dolby Atmos environment. I now have to go revisit my songs, and I'm finding that challenging because if I'm in one scene for Dolby Atmos, I can't just record it. It doesn't allow me to record. So I've got to go back, create a new, a re, what is it? Reset up for a studio environment, redo the whole music, make it all audio files and not MIDI, create stems, close that out, reset up the software for the Dolby Atmos environment, and then drag those stems in. And I can't make any adjustments to the stems. They have to be pre-adjusted in the actual studio portion, because all you want to do is now take what you've done and add some effects to it, which are tremendous. When they tell you you can loop music like this in a space automatically, so I can have tenor, alto, sopranos, and I can have sopranos in the front, and you hear them there, tenors and altos on the side, and you hear them here spatially. And then as I can actually pan the music where when they sing, it'll come at you like this and go past your head. And then you hear in the back the actual reverb. This is what Dolby Atmos is opening to. I can put a bass here, a piano here, drums in the front. I can have horn players all around you and swirling throughout your head. The concept, as I'm learning it, is mind-boggling, but it's also going to be mind consuming. You've got to be able to apply all the different softwares and the different plugins that allows that to happen. And yes, you'll need a strong enough system to handle it. And that's where I'm going to be looking at now, upgrading my system. Again, I'm watching everyone else that have done the upgrade and hearing what they're saying. Should you or shouldn't you? That's what I'm listening to now. Other content creators talking about the system that I want to upgrade to. And then I'm looking at the people who are in this space already and seeing what they're using. So, okay, if you're doing this, then I need to have the system that you have. Then I shake my pockets around and I see what if it's possible. But again, thank you all for visiting me. For those on my Facebook page who I stream this to, As you know, I don't just share on YouTube, but I do share on Facebook, and sometimes I share on both, so that you're not missing anything that is happening. Your comments on Facebook are not seen by me here on YouTube, but you can always hit me up if you have any questions about what I've been covering. As I say, my intent is not to hide any chords from any musician that has a desire to better themselves. I'm all about making everybody better. What is the term? Rising tide lifts all boats. So you may have a small boat musically or your skill set, but let me give you the chords, the same chords you don't know, so that you can add them to your palette and build your boat musically. And I've often said, if I don't stop talking, I won't stop talking. Thank you all, and I will see you next video. Take care.